Unions tonight considering a new offer from the power utility, but it's not the 9% they want.
2015 was a difficult, lonely place for us.
As former SARS executives detail their pain over the rogue unit accusations, suspended tax boss Tom Moyane is expected before the inquiry tomorrow. Good evening, this is eNews at 8. I'm Sally Burdett. Well, Eskoms has put a new wage offer on the table, a 6.2% increase for this year and 6% for 2019 and 2020. Now, it's a far cry from no increase, but is it enough to satisfy the unions? The National Union of Mine Workers, Solidarity and NUMSA want 9%. Now, if the offer is not accepted, unions run the risk of having the parastatal revert to their original offer, 4.7%. Slindela Masekane has been following the story.
The power utility's excuse was that it couldn't afford increases. But after countrywide strike action, it upped its offer to 4.7% and then to 5%. Unions rejected both offers. It's now up to the workers to give the latest offer a thumbs up.
We made a commitment to the minister that we will negotiate. If the platform and the front is created to negotiate, we have been here to negotiate, not to blackmail. We can't say we're optimistic, but we're taking this offer to our members. Our members must reflect.
We're not against that offer, but we're not accepting the offer as well at the moment. We want to take that offer back to our members and see what the members say about that offer. So we depend on their mandate.
The majority union in the negotiations, NUM, says workers will not hesitate to down tools if they don't get what they want.
Let me assure you, if they don't budge, we are not afraid. We are going to go on strike. We did not come to these wages negotiations with cowardness. No. If we have to take them head on, we are going to take them head on. They know us that we will take them head on. We are not afraid to take them head on.
Unions will now go back to their members to consult on Eskom's latest offer. Negotiations are set to resume next week, Friday. Slindela Masekane, Johannesburg.
Well, we've had 3 days of the SARS Commission of Inquiry into tax administration and governance. Witnesses have so far painted a picture of fear and intimidation at the revenue collector. The so-called rogue unit, which was used to drive certain top executives out of the receiver of revenue, was in the spotlight today. Former Deputy Commissioner Ivan Pillay and former spokesperson Adrian Lakay took the stand.
There's a pattern of behavior here that they determine that somebody is to be removed or kicked out of the organization, and then they go after them, and then they hire professionals, most times, who are prepared to do these things. And they don't let anything get in their way.
2015 was a difficult, lonely place for us. By 2016, our group managed to find some contract employment, and we were able to sustain ourselves again in a better way. But more for my colleagues and for me, I think this rogue unit shadow will forever follow them, whether it has merit or not. And I strongly argue it was concocted nonsense. But wherever they go, whenever any journalist writes about Mr. Ivan Pillay, Johan van Logrenberg, it will be about, reference will be made to an alleged rogue unit. I think their reputations, more than mine, have been harmed. I think people still carry the scars, and hopefully someday a better sense of justice will prevail for them.
Well, tomorrow, suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane is expected at the inquiry. While the inquiry is delivering a fascinating insight into the workings of the receiver of revenue, the efficiency of the tax collector has a direct impact on our lives and our economy. And as Erin Bates discovered, ordinary taxpayers are paying attention to what's being said.
The first testimonies in the inquiry into SARS began on Tuesday. Former personnel have described in explosive testimony what went down and why they left. We took to the streets to ask South Africans a simple question. So what?
So with the inquiry, we want to actually be informed how does SARS work, and in terms of the rogue unit, why was it there, and what is it for, and Moyane as well.
I think there was a lot of corruption. I think cases had been swept under the carpet. I think people were appointed in positions, unqualified people, simply because they took part in the struggle.
What does it matter to us if the Revenue Service is in trouble?
Well, because it's our money that's been spent by SARS.
It actually undermines the kind of financial industry to a certain extent, especially when you look at foreign investment and the fact that they're looking to institutions like the government institutions to have some sort of credibility.
People are very aware of where tax hits home.
It's just to cover up on what has been stolen, and now the tax has to go up. We suffer on the petrol price. Transportation has to go up because of that corruption.
Several say there's a quid pro quo when it comes to taxes.
They must take care of us as much as we're taking care of them.
It's just a thing of using the money correctly, accountability, responsibility, just doing things right.
Erin Bates, Johannesburg.
Let's go to Cape Town now, and the legal battle between Mayor Patricia de Lille and the DA is far from over. De Lille is trying to get the courts to compel the DA to provide her with the evidence of wrongdoing the party says it has against her. Now, the matter brought before the court in February was scheduled to be heard today. Instead, it's been postponed to November. Now, this relates to the so-called Steenhuisen report, which the DA plans to use in its disciplinary proceedings against the mayor. In it, de Lille is accused of being a bully, an autocrat, and a leader who turns a blind eye to maladministration. Now, de Lille rubbishes these claims. She says the DA is delaying this process by failing to abide by a deadline to submit its replying affidavit. The DA denies this, saying de Lille has conjured up her own deadlines.
They only submitted their replying affidavit yesterday afternoon on the 27th, 24 hours before the court had to meet.
Well, to another DA mayor, and the mayor of Tshwane, Solim Zemanga, has been cleared of any wrongdoing in the appointment of the city's former chief of staff. Marietta Okamp resigned from the position in May amid controversy over her qualifications. Now, today, an independent report found she lied about having a degree. The ANC believes there's been a cover-up to protect the DA mayor, who was part of the interview panel. Leranzo Temba reports that the matter has exposed cracks in the city's HR systems.
While she may have resigned, a report into how Marietta Okamp landed her 1.2 million rand a year job is quite damning. It found she lied about holding a BTech degree when applying to be chief of staff, a position she was acting in for 6 months.
The appointment of chief of staff, both in acting capacity or on contract, was irregular and not in line with the job requirement or our HR policies.
But Okamp was shortlisted from a list of 17 candidates, thanks to a senior human resources director and 2 officials who sidestepped city hiring protocols. They also failed to inform the interviewing panelists.
What happened here was wrong. It was wrong. It was not in line with the human resource policy of the city.
But the ANC in the city is crying foul.
Certainly the fall guys just being used as a scapegoat. Where did the instruction come from? We did not raise the matter with HR. We raised the matter with politicians at the political level in council in 2016, when she was still acting.
The city has been instructed to put in place preventative measures that will ensure processes are never ignored again. The report further clears Mayor Solim Simanga of any wrongdoing. He was previously accused by opposition parties of pushing for Okamp's appointment.
Okay. So you will miss her, it would seem.
Ranzo, all I want is to get not only a qualified person in terms of academics, but somebody who also understands what is it that we have sold to the people of Tshwane and what we need to deliver to the people of Tshwane.
A senior administrator has been appointed in the interim while officials try to fill the vacancy. Leranzo Temba, Pretoria.
Well, qualifications and who gets the job are at the centre of a storm at the University of Cape Town. The institution has been taken to court by a group of black academics. They're unhappy over the appointment of Professor Liz Langer over Professor Elelwani Ramokhondo for the position of Deputy Vice-Chancellor. Now, the case brought by the Black Academic Caucus aims to highlight the problem of institutional racism at the university. But UCT says it's confident with its appointment of the associate. Artinasi has the story.
Professor Elelwani Ramokhondo is no stranger to UCT, with 2 decades of experience. She's even served as special advisor to the Vice-Chancellor on transformation. But she didn't get one of the top jobs at the institution when she applied. Her lawyer says the appointed candidate was lesser qualified.
As a candidate who was grade A during the selection process and someone of her caliber with experience of approximately 20 years at the University of Cape Town, she obviously does feel that she was overlooked. But not only that, there were other black South Africans who were just as qualified as she was, who were not appointed.
The Black Academic Caucus is raising legal funds for this case and other black academics who may need support.
The reason why we felt that it was important was because this is a strategic position. The current protests about curriculum change, which is at the core of what students are asking must change about higher education, is precisely where we need leadership, and we need strong black leadership.
The university says it stands by the appointment, which was supported by the selection committee, council and senate. It says the appointment process was fair, transparent and above board. Artie Narsi, Cape Town.
Still ahead on eNews, good news for the mother city. Cape Townians have managed to save water and push day 0 back by at least 2 years. Cape Town's dreaded Day 0 has been pushed back for at least 2 years, but authorities say it's not time to relax on water-saving measures. Tiam Tongana reports.
Over the past 2 to 3 years, the Western Cape has been grappling with drought. The city of Cape Town embarked on various campaigns and methods to try to save the little water in its dams. Water restrictions and water tariffs were also put in place. Fast forward to winter this year, the dam storage capacity hit a 3-year high at over 43%, higher than the same time in 2016 and 2017, an increase of over 4%.
Supplying the water to Cape Town have been rising significantly and consistently over the past 6 weeks. And as at today, the dam storage capacity is 43.7%. And we still have more than 2 months' worth of expected winter rainfall ahead of us. Over the past few months, our collective water usage has been around 520 million litres of water per day.
Nilsson says while the city hopes to reduce the current water restrictions in the near future, it's up to national government to lower the tariffs associated with the level 6B water restrictions that are currently in place. The Deputy Mayor is expected to meet with the Minister of Water and Sanitation, Gugile Nkwinti, to discuss a revised plan to try and reduce water restrictions. In the meantime, residents have been urged to continue using water sparingly. Tim Tongana, Cape Town.
President Cyril Ramaphosa paid a moving tribute to struggle stalwart Ambassador Billy Modise at his funeral in Johannesburg today. Modise died last week after a long illness. He was 87 years old.
Many of us will remember him as one of nature's greatest gentlemen. He was kind and he was warm. This warmth and kindness was expressed towards everyone, no matter their background.
News from further afield, at least 15 people have died and 70 are injured after a fire broke out at Nairobi's Gikomba market. 4 of those killed were children. Officials are still investigating the cause of the blaze, but witnesses say they heard explosions from gas canisters. Now, the fires destroyed many of the market's wood stalls at the city's second-hand clothes and vegetable market. This comes less than a year after another blaze destroyed much of the country's largest open-air market.
We have lost about 15 Kenyans. 5 are in the hospital and in the mortuary, but 9 are still trapped in the buildings. The reason why they have not been collected is because we want to confirm the safety of those buildings. Because we understand there are a lot of, there are still gas cylinders and they are still bursting. In addition, we have, I can confirm about 70 casualties who have been received at Kenyatta National Hospital. They are under treatment.
Good evening and welcome to the Weather Center. We are going to get into Friday with quite a bit of cloud over the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal and the eastern sections, where we could see light rain and drizzle in some places. On the other hand, it's going to be mostly fine but pretty chilly tonight for much of the interior. Then on Friday morning, we again have quite a bit of cloud and fog over parts of Gauteng, Mpumalanga and the Limpopo province. Over the western sections, we are going to be watching this cold front, which is set to introduce cloudy, rainy and chilly weather by midday on Friday across southwestern South Africa. It will be mostly sunny for western South Africa and the southern areas, with warmer daytime temperatures for parts of the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal. Sunny and slightly cooler across Gauteng, Mpumalanga and the Limpopo province. Now here's what you can expect for your part of South Africa on Friday. It's going to be mostly sunny for much of the Northern Cape with mild daytime temperatures. Chilly, however, for Sutherland with light rain expected towards the afternoon hours. It's going to be cloudy, rainy and cold for much of the Western Cape, with Cape Town and Langaban managing highs of just around 14 degrees. Mostly sunny skies are forecast across the Eastern Cape, with top temperatures here lying in the upper teens and lower 20s. Similar weather can be expected across KwaZulu-Natal, where it's going to be mild to warm for your Friday. We are going to see a bit of cloud over the eastern parts of Mpumalanga. It will be mostly sunny and mild across the Highveld areas. Mostly clear skies are forecast for the park of the Limpopo province. Partly cloudy, however, for the eastern sections, where it's going to be pleasantly warm for your Friday. It's going to be sunny for the northwest, with top temperatures in the lower to mid-20s expected in most places. We could see a bit of cloud in places across the Free State, Bloemfontein peaking at around 20 degrees, 22 for the high in Felcom. Gauteng starts off with a bit of cloud in the morning, becoming sunny in the afternoon, with highs in the lower 20s expected on Friday afternoon. Now on Saturday, it's going to stay cloud and wet for the southwestern areas. Sunny skies are forecast for the rest of South Africa. Wet weather continues over western South Africa as we go through Sunday.
And finally, music and dance are a staple at any Egyptian wedding. People hire belly dancers or local musicians to serenade their guests. But 15-year-old Abir Magdi is taking it to a new level. She performs rhythmic stunts with her horse. It's a skill that isn't easy to master. Some moves require the horse to dance from side to side. Magdi has to do a lot to maintain her balance. The pair mainly hired to entertain people at pre-wedding celebrations in Egypt. Recapping your top stories, unions tonight considering a new offer from the power utility, but it's not the 9% they want.
2015 was a difficult, lonely place for us.
As former SARS executives detail their pain over the rogue unit accusations, suspended tax boss Moyane is expected before the inquiry tomorrow. And that's your news from me and the team. Good night.